welcome back to my channel. This past spring I went on an amazing trip to Greece. In today's video, let's visit Athens together. After landing on the afternoon of the first day, we made our way from Syntagma through Anaphtiotica, a small village nestled in the foothills of the Acropolis. Standing in front of the Temple of Athena Nike, we took in a breathtaking view of Athens from the hilltop. Around closing time, we witnessed the flag lowering ceremony. When it was over, the staff gently nudged visitors to the exit, but people were really dragging their feet. We headed back to Syntagma and roamed around a bit, looking for something to eat. We found a touristy restaurant that looked like a safe bet. The food was good, and we got a complimentary dessert, which was a nice touch. We stayed in a hotel just off of Syntagma Square, the heart of modern-day Athens. Our room was clean, spacious, and comfortable. The next morning, we woke up bright and early to view the changing of the guards in front of the Parliament building. The Greek soldiers who fought in the War of Independence wore uniforms like these, which had hats, pleated skirts, and shoes topped with pom-poms. We took a peek at Athens Central Garden, which was next door to Parliament, and moved on to Gregory's for breakfast. We grabbed a portable breakfast in the form of a ham and cheese pastry and walked around. While strolling down the busy Ermou shopping street, we noticed a small cathedral and stopped inside. We also walked by the Metropolitan Cathedral, the largest church in Athens. Outside the church was a statue of Constantine, the last emperor of the Byzantine Empire. I was also excited to see Hadrian's Arch and the ruins of the Temple of Olympian Zeus, structures which I had learned about in school. It was astonishing how many historical landmarks were scattered only a short distance from each other. For lunch, we grabbed gyros at Monastiraki Square, Athens' historical city center. Afterwards, we took a quick pit stop at our hotel, and then immediately left for our next destination, the Acropolis Museum. The museum was modern and well kept, and had great natural light. While the museum owned a number of artifacts, several of the exhibits were on loan from other museums, because the Acropolis had been looted by foreigners in the past. We also took a peek at the archaeological site underneath the museum, which had been discovered, excavated, and only recently been open to visitors. After a long day, we headed back to our neighborhood for dinner. The prior day, I had noticed an Indian restaurant that looked popular, so we decided to try it out. The beef samosas were bursting with flavor, and the curry and tandoori chicken tasted as good as they looked. On the morning of day 3, the jet lag finally caught up to us, and we woke up exhausted. Nonetheless, we headed out to take a closer look at Athens Central Garden. I was pleasantly surprised to discover that the Central Garden was also kind of like a central zoo. We saw geese, turtles, fish, rabbits, chickens, goats, and a variety of birds. It also explained why we had noticed parakeets flying around. Our next destination was the Athens Central Market, where there were rows of bustling meat and seafood stalls frequented by locals. After seeing enough of the Central Market, we stopped by a gyro place across the street to grab a simple lunch. I was on my second gyro in Greece, and I was still riding high. I grabbed a nice latte from Coffee Lab to fuel up and cool down a bit, and we headed to the Agora for the afternoon's attraction. We stumbled upon so many historical landmarks just along the way. Since they're outdoors, everything is visible, but you have the option at most sites to pay to enter and inspect more closely. Inside the Agora, the first thing we did was explore the Stoa of Attalus, which is a reconstruction. The Stoa was a covered walkway that served as a market. Then, we saw the Temple of Hephaestus, a structure which was original. From the temple, we could see the Acropolis on the hilltop where we had been 2 days prior. By far the most modern object on display in the Agora was a sculpture of Socrates and Confucius, two great thinkers. On the way back to Syntagma, I noticed this shoe store with a really cool entrance. Since we weren't too hungry that day, we grabbed a strawberry smoothie bowl for dinner at a place called Fontana. Finally, at the end of the day, we had the opportunity to check out a free art exhibit housed in what had been a modern-day stoa. There was a bit of a social political commentary imbued in the display, called the Passage of the Merchants, where signs from stores which had long shuttered its doors and whose usefulness had come to an end, hung from the ceiling as if nothing had ever changed. It was great having you here. Stay tuned for next time, where I take you with me to Meteora and Delphi.